Smiling Friends is the perfect adult show. For a show that came out in 2020 when the whole world was like falling apart, it's just absurd how good this show is. The basic concept of Smiling Friends is that Smiling Friends is a company that helps make people smile. The two main Smiling Friends we follow throughout the show are Charlie and Pim. It's just really cool how creative, witty, and well written this show is. But today I just want to go out of my way and talk about this show and review every single episode that's come out thus far. Because in one of my recent polls, a lot of people said they didn't see the show, which is kind of crazy to me. So I want to, introduce a lot of the people from my channel that have never seen the show to the show. If you haven't heard about it or if you've never seen it, this is the time for you to go check it out. Or you can watch this video and then go check it out. I don't really care either way. But yes, they're going to be ranking and reviewing all of the first 9 episodes of the show that have come out so far. But before we get into that, let me just talk about how much I love this show. The writing in Smiling Friends is so much different when compared to other adult comedies like the Family Guy or The Simpsons or The Bob's Burgers or The American Dad. It's actually so it's kind of random and spastic, but in a contained way. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just so random sometimes, and other times the jokes just come out so well. But another aspect as to why this show is so good is just because of the writing and the way they are able to perfectly capture human dialogue. Like I don't get how they're able to do it as well as they do. It's hard to compare the humor to any other show that's out right now, but sometimes the random nature is definitely the show's biggest strength. The show gets dark at times, but it's not edgy dark. It's funny. It's not just suicide because suicide or bad thing because bad thing or 9/11 joke because 9/11 joke like a lot of other shows. Family Guy. This show actually takes its edgy and dark humor and tells a story or a deeper underlying narrative. I mean, for example, in one of the later episodes, there's this anti-smiling friends that wants to make the world kind of gloomy, and the entire message, I guess you could say in quotations, is that a lot of these people that believe this cynical mindset don't actually believe it all the way through. So we'll see a lot of things like that when we get into the actual review of the episodes. The comedy is super dynamic, and it's just really great. The animation, the art style, the art direction, all of that is just absolutely peak. The soundtrack, the music, is everything about the show is good. If you haven't watched it, you should go see it right now. But we're about to go ahead and get into reviewing every single episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Or you can watch this review and go watch it later, like I already said. So without further ado, let's get right into reviewing the first episode of Smiling Friends. This is the first episode of the show, and it does an excellent job of introducing us to these characters and this world. This episode has the Smiling Friends, primarily Pib and Charlie, going to help a guy named Desmond who wants to game end himself. They try a bunch of ways, like talking to him, taking him to a theme park, a party, to make new friends, even a family reunion. This episode actually made me laugh a bunch. I don't want to say too much about it because I really want you guys to go watch some of these episodes for yourself because they are actually really amazing. Even when I rewatched the show, it got a good laugh out of me. And it's easily one of the best episodes of the show just because of how, I don't know, how just crazy it gets at some points. I really love it. So this is easily, right now, ranked number 1 because there's no other episodes to rank. But hopefully we'll see how it moves and differs throughout the rest of the season. This episode is about Mr. Frog. Mr. Frog is a celebrity from a TV show who gets canceled for trying to eat a TMZ reporter, and the Smiling Friends decide to help him fix his image so he can get his job back. But Mr. Frog is a psychopath, in a funny way, but he's still insane. He ends up killing some people. It's just what Mr. Frog does. You'll get used to it. He's a bad guy, kind of, but he's not annoying or overbearing. He's also kind of funny. Also, Charlie's uncle stories about his uncle killing a guy in a car accident was pretty funny. Alongside that, the Jimmy Fallon bit where Mr. Frog goes on the Jimmy Fallon show, that part was pretty funny. This is definitely one of my favorite episodes, so we're gonna be moving it up to number 1 and moving Desmond's big day out down to number 2.
What was the worst part about the whole ordeal, working on your show?
Probably working with all those filthy.
That was really bad.
The smiling friends go to help this shrimp who just like lost his girlfriend and is bitchless. So kind of like you guys that are watching this video. His girlfriend leaves him because he didn't appreciate her, and he's a bum that lives in his mom's basement, plays video games all day, like a Discord mod, and kind of like the people that watch these videos. Charlie and Pim both have like different ways to handle the situation. Charlie wants to help him move on and get a new girlfriend, but Pim wants him to get back with his ex-girlfriend. But they do a lot to try and make him look like less of a bum by taking him to a clothing store. And there was like this one alpha male joke and like this school shooter joke that absolutely killed me. This is easily one of the funniest episodes of a TV show that I've ever seen, and it's easily the best episode of the show so far. I love how Pim falls in love with a random cashier. This is easily the best episode of the show so far, moving all the way up to number 1, moving Mr. Frog down, and moving down Desmond's day out.
Look, I told you, man, you need to get over her, okay? There's plenty more fish in the sea.
How do I look, yellow man?
You look like you're about to tell your friend not to come to school tomorrow, man.
This is a Halloween special, and a pretty good one at that. Charlie and Pim and the rest of the smiling friends are having a Halloween party, and Pim is sent to go get some firewood from the forest. He decides to cross an ominous bridge that his boss told him specifically never to cross. And now we have a chance to talk about it. I kind of want to talk about the boss. The boss is one of my favorite characters in the show. He just perfectly represents the sometimes random nature that the show goes for. While Pim gets lost in the woods and is forced to survive, he is also being chased by a forest demon that really wants to kill him. This episode really shows Pim having more emotions than just being overly enthusiastic and optimistic for once. And it has some pretty funny high moments. When compared to other episodes, it's definitely not the funniest, but I really do love how the demon monster is like in a different animation style than everybody else. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, this episode's pretty good, but I don't think it's better than like Mr. Frog or Desmond's Big Day Out. Well, it's better than Desmond's. So we're gonna put this at number 3, below Mr. Frog, but slightly above Desmond's Big Day Out. So basically in this one, Pim and Charlie go to like a restaurant called Salties, and it's like a fast food place, and for some reason it's owned by like a person, like not just like an animated person, like a real life person who like they recorded and put into the show, which is really cool. They do this a lot in the show, but I love this instance specifically because Salty is just so out of place in this one. So basically they go to the restaurant, they're trying to order this burger called the Salty Deluxe Burger when they get denied service because they're trying to switch their menu to healthy stuff. So Pib and Charlie go to the back and try and talk to Salty when they find him murdered on his couch, stabbed to death. Now Charlie and Pim have to find out who did it because the boss calls in and says they have to find out who did it. So they go interview the mascot people, who's like a ketchup packet, a mustard packet, a cup, and like a spilled bottle of grease, I think. And they just really made me laugh. I mean, like, I don't know. The fact that Charlie almost fucked a ketchup packet was single-handedly the best part of this entire episode. The big plot twist being that nobody actually killed Salty because he choked on a burger. I mean, this is definitely one of the episodes of all time. It's definitely not like a top episode. It's a pretty good murder mystery though. I really liked it, but it wasn't that great by this show's standards, which is why I have to put it at the bottom right now, which is going at number 5, below everything. Simply because, I don't know, I just didn't feel this episode hit as much to me. You may feel differently. Tell me down below. But let's get to the next episode.
You like to have fun too?
I mean, you know, you're asking about me? I mean, yeah, I like fun, yeah. You know?
Oh, yeah?
I already said yes.
This episode has Charlie and Pim going to the Enchanted Forest to make the princess smile. Pim wants to go on an epic quest because his dad wouldn't let him when he was younger. Also, Pim like kisses his dad on the lips. So, yeah. First, then they encounter a witch that took Charlie's hat and then drugs them and attempts to eat them before they are saved by a talking elf man named Mip. Yeah, Mip is actually like a really bad person and is like stalking the princess, and later actually has Charlie and Pim deliver a bomb to her house. So, yeah. Also, Pim wants to be a hero, but Charlie becomes a hero, even though Charlie initially didn't even want to go on any quest. And then Mip dies. Yeah, Mip gets brutally murdered. He falls on a spear. It's really sad until you realize he's like a terrible person. This episode shows like Charlie and Pim having a different dynamic for once, instead of just being buddy-buddy. There was like this dynamic of like Pim being a lot jealous of Charlie and him showing another emotion besides like being overly enthusiastic, which really made me like this episode. And I also love fantasy episodes, and I love the visuals and backgrounds for this episode. Also, Mip was like really funny before he died. I'm gonna have to put this episode at 3, below Mr. Frog, but above the Halloween special.
He's my stalker.
What?
You joking?
No, seriously. I blocked him on everything, and I've had to move twice because of him. So, what's in the package then?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh my God! That was Bob the whole time.
The Frowning Friends are a bunch of cynical bums that are like the complete opposite of the Smiling Friends, led by Gnarly and Grim. They basically represent cynical, cringe, edgy trench coat wearers that frequent Reddit. All they do is talk about how depressing it is to live and how pointless it is if we're all gonna die anyways. They basically spend the entire episode trying to convert everybody to this cynical, cringe, edgy viewpoint that they have, until eventually the boss comes and almost murders Grim in front of an entire audience of people. And that's when we all realize that he does not practice what he preaches, and actually cries and pleads for his life before almost getting killed. So, you know, it's like a perfect metaphor for just how these people actually think. You know, cynical weirdos that sit on Reddit talking about, this life is pointless, we're all gonna die anyways. Yeah, this is a pretty good episode. We're moving this one up to 2 simply because of the fact that the plot of an anti-Smiling Friends is really interesting. So above Mr. Frog, but below Shrimp's Odyssey.
Relax, man. I was just gonna shoot you in the head and kill you.
This one is like a Christmas special. So basically Charlie and Pim go get a Christmas tree for the office because the boss told them to. Pim was excited to get the tree, and Charlie and him argue about Charlie being more cynical and realistic and less optimistic and enthusiastic when compared to Pim. Then after Charlie dies, because a tree falls on him, he wakes up in that one place that you don't want to wake up in when you die. But you know, that place is kind of falling off because Satan hasn't been working as hard, so it's causing it to freeze over down there. So Charlie decides to help Satan get back in the groove of things, so he can go back to the world of living. Charlie's grandma is also there, so you know. I definitely enjoyed this episode because having a Charlie-centric episode is a first. And yeah, it was so cool to see Charlie do his own thing without Pim's interference. Also, Satan in this episode was animated in a different art style, and I think that's really cool. The fact that they do this so often where they animate certain characters in different art styles is really funny. I also like the segment where Satan orders food from Uber Eats. It made me laugh more than it probably should have. Also, the fact that God was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried is really funny. RIP to him, one of my favorite voice actors of all time. And because of that, this episode will be moving up to number 5, moving down a lot of other episodes. I'm not 100% sure which ones. We'll find out in the final tally. This is the final episode of Season 1 of Smiling Friends, and it's honestly a really good one. This one, the Smiling Friends go to Brazil, like the title says, but they don't like actually go to Brazil, if you know what I'm saying. They basically spend the entire episode arguing with each other at an airport about who was supposed to book the hotel. And I won't even lie, the fact that they were able to make an episode this entertaining just of the characters arguing at each other about who should have booked a hotel room and how they are stuck in Brazil just goes to show how well they can write an episode of a show. The fact that the dialogue felt like a real life conversation that people would have if somebody forgot to buy a ticket or a hotel or whatever, it's just absolutely amazing. I love how nothing crazy really even happens. It's just talking. This episode shows the competency of the writing room, and it's just amazing. I love this episode a lot. So I'm gonna be putting it at number 3 on the list, above Mr. Frog, but below Frowning Friends. Well guys, that's it. Let's get into the final ranking of every single episode and go over the final recap of every single episode. So for our final recap and final rankings for every single episode, at number 1 we have Shrimp's Odyssey. That episode is just an absolute classic, one of my favorites. Number 2 we have Frowning Friends. Number 3 we have Smiling Friends Go to Brazil. Number 4 we have Mr. Frog. I love that episode too. Number 5 we have Enchanted Forest. Number 6 we have Charlie Dies and Doesn't Come Back. Number 7 we have the Halloween special. Number 8 we have Desmond's Big Day Out. And number 9 we have Who Violently Murdered Simon S. Salty. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if you have a different opinion about where an episode should be ranked, don't forget to leave it in the comments down below. I'm going to be releasing more videos like this, and I hope this inspired you to go check out Smiling Friends, because it's one of my favorite shows that has come out in recent history. If you guys enjoyed this, like I already said, drop it, like, subscribe, share, join the Discord server. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.